I would tell you about the latest research, the newest research. But you might be interested just to hear one or two pieces of research that are being done. That is in the English-speaking world. What is happening in America and Europe is that children's books are being they are becoming part of childhood studies, because childhood studies means psychology and education and literature. The most important, I think, important kind of literature being studied is called crossover fiction. Books that are read by children and by adults. And this requires a whole new area of thinking. There's also a lot of study of science fiction and dystopias. Dystopia? That is very interesting because a lot of children's books now are about a future where science has killed the world. Especially the villains are computers. And if you stop and think about that, it's very strange, because our children are living in a world where computers are important, where science is important, so why should they be afraid of them? It is the adults who are afraid, not the children. But I'll just give you my favorite example of research that's being done at the moment. There is a researcher at Reading University near London who's asking hundreds of people like you who read children's books to pick a book they remember reading when they were a child, but that they have not read since, and to say how that book affects them now. She asked me, and I thought this is going to be very difficult because I read children's books professionally. So there will be no gap between me reading the book as an adult and reading the book as a child. And then I discovered in the attic of my mother's house an old box, and in the box were some children's books that I had read when I was 5, 4. Shall I tell you something? I was afraid to open one of the books. See, my wife thinks this is terrible. We were on holiday in France in the summer, and we were walking through a wood by the Dordogne River. And this wood had tall trees, but no undergrowth, no bushes. Okay. And I started to feel very, very nervous. And then I remembered that that book in the box, which I got out to read for this research, was about a little lamb walking through a wood just the same as this wood. And behind the trees was a fox. I have been frightened of that book. Now, my wife thinks this is a very bad case of arrested development. But I put this example forward because I will bet good money that everybody here has a box in the attic somewhere. And we must always bear in mind that our box is not the same as somebody else's box, and therefore treat everybody's reaction with respect. Yeah. So, if you ever feel that you are being persecuted because you read children's books, then you can say that it is difficult and dangerous to do. And I should finish by saying that I live in a household where they do not believe in children's books, really. My wife is the worst. My wife is a midwife. She delivers babies. And we have conversations about what we do during the day. And I say, "What did you do today, darling?" And she says, "There was a woman having a baby in the car park, so we delivered the baby in the car park, and then I had to rush to somebody who was having twins in their house." And she says, "What did you do today?" And I say, "I read a book about a little lamb." But children's books are important and difficult and interesting